Battle at the X will be huge. Collin Hoben and one of the best in the country in Zach Cole for St. Joe's.
Collin Hoben leads the team in ground balls with 102, so he's going to have to rake and really use a lot of his countering against Zach Cole as he is an amazing goal there. Saw the open opportunity. Number 18, Alex Chen, did not get there fast enough, and the Hawks are up on the board.
Looked like High Point might have had the man up killed, but at the death, the Hawks convert. Ricardo wins the faceoff, and High Point back into their offense. Early on, they've been pretty impressive in the faceoff game.
Haven't seen very much from the face-did coach, and as we see here is that they're ranked nationally defensively, and he's had an amazing career. Coached the Canadian national team defense in 2018 and uses his wisdom here with the Hawks.
Fresh off that first NEC championship, they won numerous regular season titles but couldn't get over the hump until last year. And you alluded to it, they pushed Yale, number 4 in the country, to the brink in the first round of the tournament last year.
Getting lost once again, and Van Overbeck takes advantage.
33rd of the year for Van Overbeck, who's fresh off a hat trick. Cole wins the faceoff, and a good stop by Green.
Carter Page getting on the board.
Colin Reich actually is the goal scorer, the midfielder. And so level at 2 apiece here early on in this one.
Mallory sneaks that one by and take a lead here.
So the Hawks take the lead, and straight multi-goal games, that's a much better start for the grad student. Cole looking to push before the end of the first, and that's not going to trouble Green too much. In save rate, and he's posted 4 double-digit save performances in his last 5 games. Looks well on his way to a 5th in the last 6.
Yeah, and is a great communicator with his defense as well. His defense trusts him, and that's the biggest. Shane Ryan.
So that's Cook's second of the day, pardon me, and the Panthers reclaim the lead after 2 unanswered. Back and forth we go in this seesaw affair, and Hoben wins the faceoff.
High Point came to play today. It's another amazing job at the X from Hoben.
So if you're just joining us, this has been quite the entertaining affair here early on. Both teams just trading leads at the moment, but High Point beginning to take over the face-off X, and I don't think that's... We've spoken a lot about how High Point's been consistently competitive. That was not the case when Taylor Ray took over the St. Joe's job. What he has done to build this program into what is now a prominent national squad is really impressive.
Yeah, and he makes kids want to come to St. Joe's. It all starts with recruiting and how you project your school, yourself, your image to these players and parents that you want to come to your school. And so far throughout his
3 of the opening 5 goals for High Point, we've touched on his emergence in A10 play. Continues it here. Now Cole directly off the face-off, and that's going to draw a flag from either Amon or one of his counterparts.
It was a good idea from High Point's defense, just way too aggressive on Zach Cole. Automatically going to lead to a slash. Even within NCAA, these refs want to let these boys play, but to a certain extent.
So it looks like Joy is the man in the penalty box for the slash transfer. We've seen a couple on either side. A grad student with his 15th of the year, now at the 20-point mark for St. Joe's.
He loves that left hand and gets that left-hand shot opportunity.
Cole's mauled by a slew of High Point defenders. It doesn't matter anyway. Now Page and High Point has flipped, or St. Joe's has flipped this on its head.
Costly mistake. High Point going man down, and St. Joe's is getting ready to go on a run here. Carter Page getting on the board. An absolute textbook goal from Carter Page here, as you'll see on the replay. Dropping his stick low, getting Parker Green's hands to drop, and then coming right over the top and firing that one for his 42nd goal. Kind of reminds me of Brennan O'Neill. I don't know if you've watched much Duke lacrosse this year, but that's a staple move in Brennan O'Neill's repertoire, and Carter Page has it as well.
Page is the A-10's goal leader. He added one more there. So High Point has had this flipped on its head, and another one for the Hawks. It's Levi Anderson's first of the day.
Levi Anderson getting on the board. An actual Canadian, 34 goals, a big, strong guy, 6'4", really uses his size here on Jake Joy and finds the back of the net. Levi Anderson, an amazing take.
Levi Anderson, third in the A-10 in goals per game. Just a luxury with the amount of attacking talent across the board for the Hawks.
He's an amazing off-ball attacker. Likes to shoot from a lot of weird angles. And he did just that there and gets on the board.
St. Joe's' largest lead of the game, the largest lead for either team in this contest. And they win yet another face-off. Prior to this recent run, High Point had been dominating that department. Now it's all St. Joe's, and Bomer will settle things down. Seconds for St. Joe's, and Carter Page with two of those. A guy who had been going through a bit of a dry spurt the last couple games has woken back up in emphatic fashion for the Hawks.
He has arisen. Carter Page is here, and he is here to stay.
Trying to compile a little more carnage and backed up by Bomer.
St. Joe's getting this defense caught lacking there. And very versatile guy. He played three different positions in 2021. Short stick D-mid, close defense, and LSM, and plays LSM there and gets a goal.
Much like his coach, Taylor Ray began his Duke career,
but really took this graduate student year with a grain of salt and has been amazing thus far. A huge step up, trumps his prior seasons.
The grad student from Gainesville, Florida, now with his 22nd of the season, by far his career high.
It's like Parker Green, who he steps in for right now, and Parker Green saw a 5 goals in a minute and 26 seconds, so Torpy elected for a goalie change, and let's see if it was the right choice.
Green had the huge first quarter, then got blitzed a bit in the second, and overend
to 2.
Van Overbeck entered second in the A-10 in assists per game and points per game, notches his 34th of the year, and a much-needed faceoff win for Hoben. High Point started fast at the faceoff X. Then during that run, Zach Cole began to get going. Now a little more parity
within an attack line like the Hawks have, and it's what makes their offense so scary.
Brown's second of the day after logging just 1 assist in that win last Saturday at UMass. And we speak a lot about the importance of having box guys on your team, those guys who are used to tight quarters control. The fact that a lot of these guys have those skill sets has got to be pretty important if you're Coach Ray and company.
Yeah, and box has really grown as a game, and not only lacrosse itself, but box in general has really grown.
Pushes the St. Joe's lead back up to its largest of the game at 4. You've seen them move Page a little more off ball.
To UMass. Now High Point this season ended up losing to UMass by 2 goals, and the Hawks have won by 1. So both of these teams are very evenly matched throughout the different teams that they play. And that's a hospital pass right into the middle of the field, but the Hawks
goal advantage. And if the tide is going to change, it's going to have to start here in a hurry as Hoben returns to the X.
Zach Cole goes early there in High Point.
And they stop a quick 4-0 spurt from St. Joe's. Every time they've needed a big face-off, though, Zach Cole and company have come through. Cole DeFogo takes a rip.
They're wreaking havoc right now. This offense is very high-powered.
And the face-off unit is a force to be reckoned with these last couple quarters.
And
looking increasingly like the A-10 is going to be a one-bid league in its inaugural season. So winner take all effectively next week up in Richmond. High Point comes away with it after St. Joe's wins the face-off. If you're Taylor Ray, you've got to
stepping things up. A lot of different guys, over 8 different scorers on the Hawks roster have put up points today, so definitely sharing the wealth and showing off their depth.
We've talked about the face-off game. High Point had an early advantage there through the first quarter. St. Joe's is now 15 of 27 on that front. Number 15 of the year for the Maryland transfer. Saw him get shaken up a bit earlier. Looks no worse for wear there. Mike, we made known as a lacrosse hotbed, but he's done well for himself.
Not as all, and I'm sure he's a good skier. I'm sure he's a great skier.
You ski much, Mike?
Oh, yeah, big time.
Long Island guy.
Been on this
stadium. A 6-goal advantage for St. Joe's as we approach the stretch of this one. And if High Point is going to queue up a run, they've got to do one in a hurry as Amon loses the face-off.
Still a lot of time left here and a very suitable goal deficit that these Panthers have against the back of the cage there.
Brown, a attack-minded midfielder. There's a lot of these on that St. Joe's roster. He has been really tough to stop here this afternoon.
It's going to be a timeout from St. Joe's there.
Well, that kills the man up. And St. Joe's, after winning the face-off, can see this one out. A St. Joe's squad that flashed its mettle today.